Welcome to the N1 Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Sadhu, and today I'm going to be outlining 10 straightforward and implementable ways to make your fat loss journey easier. And ironically, my first tip is actually to accept that it's hard. Just like maintaining a great relationship or building a business, it takes a lot of work, but it's incredibly rewarding. And the thing is if you need it to be easy, getting your dream body is not for you. And that's totally cool. It's actually really useful to accept that because it eliminates the guilt that some folks feel when they think that they should lose weight or they should get healthier, etc., etc. It's your body and you get to do whatever you want with it. On the other hand, if this is a shift that you'd truly like to make, it's going to take some time and effort, of course, because if it were easy, everybody and their mom would be millionaires with six-pack abs. Now, I will mention that it absolutely gets easier over time. The more knowledge and healthy habits you build, the less effort it takes to maintain them. So for example, I've been at this lifestyle stuff for well over a decade, and it's relatively easy now. I know my body really well. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And simply out of habit, I make solid choices the vast majority of the time around nutrition, movement, sleep, and stress management. It's not hard to brush your teeth or take a shower every day because you fully accepted the fact that it's a part of your daily routine. The same concept applies to a healthful lifestyle. Yes, it's hard, but it gets easier and easier the more you practice and implement over time. Number 2 is to make a plan. If you are going on a road trip to a place you've never been, you don't just hop in the car and hope for the best. You map out your route ahead based on where you want to go, what you want to see along the way, and in what sort of time frame you want to get there. Don't just wing it because it's far more likely that you're going to go the wrong way or even worse, need to turn around and head back to where you started and begin again. So let's say you have about 20 pounds you'd like to lose over the course of the next 12 weeks. That's an average of 1.66 pounds per week. So that's the rough pace that you need to keep up. If you are 3 weeks in and you haven't lost a pound yet, you're off track and you need to regroup, reassess, and adjust your plan. Your plan isn't set in stone. It should be malleable so you can change things around along the way because life happens, social events happen, slip-ups happen. So it's important to make a plan, but it's also important not to get too rigid with it. Number 3 is accountability. It is fucking crucial to distinguish whether you are internally accountable or externally accountable. Internally accountable folks go to the gym on their own without fail. They stick to their nutrition plan when nobody's watching and they hold themselves to a specific standard. Externally accountable people do much better with someone or something outside of themselves to be accountable to. These folks have personal trainers, they have nutrition coaches, they do fitness classes. They thrive with an external mode of accountability. Be honest with yourself on this one. The most common pitfall I see around accountability is people telling themselves that they should be able to do it on their own. And why? Who says you should be able to do it on your own? It doesn't make you undisciplined, weak, or lacking willpower if you do better with external accountability. So stop insisting that you be a different way and work with your tendency versus against it. And another way to distinguish which category you fall into if you're just not sure is your word. So for example, if you tell yourself, I'm going to do a workout at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then I'm going to prep some healthful lunches for the week. And then tomorrow rolls around and you're like, nah, fuck it. Versus if you tell a friend you're going to meet them for a workout at 10 a.m. and then you're going to go grocery shopping together afterwards for your healthful lunches. And even if you don't want to go all that much in the morning, you don't want to bail on your friend more. So you show up. This individual is externally accountable. So just know thyself and put systems in place that have you follow through. So like I said before, it could be getting a coach, it could be joining group workout classes, it could be scheduling hikes or workouts with friends. You need something outside of yourself to help keep you on track. Using myself as an example, I actually have you guys and my business to keep me accountable. I don't want to be the overweight fat loss coach, right? Not a good look. So you guys actually hold me accountable whether you're aware of it or not. So thank you. Number 4 is control your food environment. If you have funky foods easily accessible in your fridge, pantry, garage, or wherever, It's not a matter of if you'll eat them, it's when. So the absolute easiest way to either stay on point or mess your nutrition up is via how you structure your food environment. Just like if you didn't want to drink alcohol, you wouldn't keep booze in plain sight, same deal with food. Make it easy on yourself by keeping your home stocked with healthful whole foods that line up with your goals versus keeping high calorie, hyper palatable foods around that go contrary to what you want. If you eat dinner at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. rolls around, you're watching some Netflix and you're like, man, some ice cream would really be tasty right now, but you need to go to the store to get it, 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to have ice cream. But if you had it 5 steps away in your freezer, it's going down the hatch. We are opportunistic eaters, so take the opportunity out of the equation and set yourself up for success versus sabotaging yourself at every turn. If you're thinking, well, I can have ice cream around, I just need to be more disciplined. I should be able to say no to ice cream in the fridge, cookies on the counter, and chips in the pantry. Why? Why should you be able to say no? No one's willpower can combat millions of years of evolution. So humble yourself a little bit and keep the big picture in mind. We are all susceptible to this. Funny enough, as far as willpower and discipline go, you shouldn't need either of them to come into the equation inside your home. It's actually exercise at the grocery store because you can use your willpower not to throw junk food into your cart, and then once you leave the store, you don't even have to think about it again. You can't eat what's not there. And a simple workaround here that we've all heard is never go to the grocery store hungry. It's true, don't. Number 5 is work with your preferences. So everyone should be eating adequate protein, especially when your goal is fat loss. So prioritize protein in your diet and then tailor your carb and fat intake according to your preferences. So if you prefer more carbs, eat more carbs and less fat. If you prefer more fat, eat more fat and less carbs. And if you like the middle of the road approach, eat moderate amounts of carbs and fats. When you equate for protein and calories, all of these approaches will yield the same fat loss results. So put something in place that you can follow and stick with long term and you're golden. Number 6 is prepare. If your goal is fat loss and you're going meal by meal, just figuring it out, that's not a solid strategy and a great way to fail. You can prep your food daily if you've got more time on your hands, or if you really want to maximize efficiency, you can do a food prep session, say once or twice a week. Setting aside some time to prep ahead will not only yield better results from a fat loss standpoint, but it'll also save you time and money. And you can think about it like doing laundry. You don't do your laundry one outfit at a time. You wait until you have a full load and then you do it all at once. The same concept can be applied to your meals. Now, if you have more time than you know what to do with and you want to make every single meal that you eat super fresh, by all means, go for it. But the vast majority of folks are just not in that situation. Also, it's worth mentioning if you're expecting every meal that you eat to be a 10 out of 10 and a sacred heavenly experience, cooking and finding new recipes is going to be a full-time job. On the other hand, if you accept that not every single meal that you eat is going to be over the top delicious, it'll make your life so much easier when it comes to food choices and prep. Don't get me wrong, I love the food that I eat, my clients love the food that they eat, and I would never eat something that I didn't like the taste of, and I wouldn't expect a client to eat something that they didn't like the taste of. I just don't think that it's realistic to expect every single meal you eat to be absolutely incredible. Some are better than others, and when you've got the extra time on your hands or you're cooking with your partner on the weekend, go nuts. But on a day-to-day basis, you may have a few meals that don't taste as good as pizza, and that's okay. Number 7 is take the lifestyle approach. We are all well aware if we're truly after sustained fat loss, not just temporary results, we've got to find a lifestyle approach that we can maintain long term. So constantly keep this in mind when you're putting your plan in place. Eating zero sugar, no meals out, no alcohol, working out 7 days a week is just not sustainable for 99% of the population. It's a great way to burn out and make the whole lifestyle aspect feel essentially impossible, but you don't need to be that strict to get results. I would much prefer someone be 80% on point 100% of the time than being 100% on point 50% of the time. Duration is a lot more important than intensity. You can think about it like this. How long can you sprint for? Not long, right? You get really tired super quick. But if you hit that groove and you jog at a pace that you can sustain for a lot longer, you cover way more distance. Yes, sprinting will get you faster results right out of the gate, but you're going to pull a muscle or roll an ankle and you're done. and that jogger is going to pass you by while you're sitting on the couch icing your injury. Number 8 is assess and track along the way. The 4 most important assessment and tracking tools when it comes to getting fat loss results are the scale, your calorie intake, your sleep, and your movement. As far as the scale goes, it needs to be trending down. Simple as that. If it's not, you're not losing weight. You can track this daily, you can track your weight weekly. Just be sure to weigh yourself under the same conditions and don't put too much stock in any one day or week. Just watch that trend. Nutrition is by far the most important aspect around weight loss. So if you're not tracking your intake in one way or another, you're putting the cart before the horse. You've likely heard that nutrition is responsible for 80% of fat loss results and workouts are 20%. Honestly, that's probably conservative. It might even be 90-10. On the sleep front, get 7 to 9 hours nightly and you'll make life so much easier on yourself, not only from a result standpoint, but just from a quality of life standpoint. Life is better when you're well rested versus playing from behind. Not getting enough sleep is like going into the office and needing to catch up on 2 hours of work from the previous day, every single day. You're digging yourself out of a hole every morning. Start from ground level and get the sleep that you need. Movement-wise, for my clients, I'm far more interested in how many steps they're getting per day versus how many workouts they're getting per day or per week. If you work out 5 times per week moderately hard, but you're sedentary the rest of the day, you're leaving a ton of results on the table. If I had to choose between someone getting 5 workouts in per week and 3,000 steps per day and someone getting 10,000 steps per day and only 2 workouts per week, I'd take the 10K steps and 2 workouts every time. I've been preaching it for years. Walking is one of the most underrated fat loss tools out there, and workouts are massively overrated. Not that they're not beneficial, they're just overrated. Number 9 is set goals and celebrate your wins. Having an ultimate goal is awesome, and I recommended it in the planning section. But breaking down that primary goal into mini goals or targets to hit is an awesome idea. And when you reach those mini goals, celebrate and then keep rolling. So let's say you wanted to lose 50 pounds. Every time you hit 10 pounds down, you go out for a really nice meal with your partner and you celebrate your hard work, and then you wake up the next morning and you work towards the next 10 pounds. Also, from a celebratory standpoint, taking progress pictures isn't a bad idea because you can see how far you've come. I can't tell you how many times I've heard my clients say, I know I've dropped 20 pounds on the scale, but I don't think I look all that different. And then I attach comparison photos of where we started and where they are currently, and they're like, holy shit, I forgot I used to look like that. So in this case, progress pics can actually keep you on track because you see yourself every day and it's extremely difficult to be objective when it comes to your own body. So just some food for thought there. Number 10 is be willing to address mental and emotional roadblocks. You may have noticed that when I said you might want to take progress pictures, that your internal dialogue in your head, you're like, fuck that. This is a prime example of being willing to address and confront the mental and emotional factors that are contributing to your current habits, health, and body comp. What is it about the pictures that get you so riled up, right? Let's confront that. I know it's hard, but it's incredibly valuable. Now, if you're super opposed to the pictures, you don't have to do it. That's just one way to address these mental and emotional blocks if you had that internal dialogue, for example, or that self-talk. But there are a whole bunch of ways to address mental and emotional health, and taking on a lifestyle change like this is one of them because it's just a matter of time before those mental and emotional roadblocks rear their head. Fat loss and lifestyle change is not purely a physical process because you just can't separate the body from the mind and the emotions. They are all inextricably linked, which is actually amazing news. Because when you improve one body, the physical, mental, or emotional body, as a byproduct, you improve the others. It's super cool. It's really amazing to watch because when I work with my clients, I see their mindset and their emotional health increase while their weight decreases. They build their habits, they address roadblocks, they become more aware of the behaviors that aren't serving them, and they come out of the process better versions of themselves across the board. And essentially, that's what this is all about. That's what life is about, because becoming a better version of yourself equates to better relationships, more diverse experiences, and just an all-around higher quality of life. Actually, an aspect of this that I've been thinking about a lot lately is cultivating you like a piece of art. So when you strip away the car, you strip away the clothes, the house, the this, the that, what are you left with? essentially designing you like a sculpture and chipping away at all the unnecessary clay to get to the good stuff. The sculpture is actually already there. It's just up to you to take out the chisel, create the outline, and then dial in the detail. I hope you guys found these 10 practical take-home tips helpful, and if you feel like doing all of them is overwhelming, start with one. Get comfortable and then add another when the first one becomes second nature. When the second one becomes easy, add a third, and so on. Now, if you're interested in personalized one-on-one nutritional coaching or workout programming, you can click the link in the show notes below or head over to n1fitness.com/coaching. Feel free to follow me up on Instagram at N1Fitness and friend me at Marcus Sadu on Facebook. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and I'll catch you on the next episode. See ya.